8 sports stars that linked up with clothing giants, from Hamilton to Beckham. Premier League fans may have to start getting used to an all-new Jack Grealish. The £100 million Manchester City man will soon become the 7-figure Gucci man after agreeing a huge modeling contract with the luxury Italian brand. Grealish is set to become an official ambassador for the fashion giants in what is expected to be a 7-figure deal for the former Aston Villa captain. Grealish's stratospheric rise over the last 2 seasons has seen him become an England fan favourite and the Premier League's record signing. But while Grealish is perhaps trying on his new Gucci gear and practicing his 1,000-yard stare, Daily Star Sport considers 8 other sports stars who linked up with clothing giants. As one of the greatest sports stars of his generation, it is no surprise that a host of different fashion outlets were queuing up out of the door to sign Lewis Hamilton. The 7-time Formula One champion will be looking to finally surpass the great Michael Schumacher this racing season. But away from the track, he has been a style icon and brand ambassador for clothing giants Tommy Hilfiger. The Brit signed a multi-year partnership with the company in 2018, where he promoted the Hilfiger collection, their tailored line, and a range of menswear and swimwear. What other sports aces are sponsored by huge fashion companies? Let us know in the comments. Raducanu may have only recently completed her A-levels, but her sensational US Open victory has projected her into the brightest spotlight in sport today. Fashion companies and other brands fell over themselves to sign her as a brand ambassador shortly after her sensational victory at Flushing Meadows. However, fashion giants Dior were able to pip several brands to her signature, committing her to a deal which was reportedly worth £2 million. Raducanu's stock is so high, many PR experts believe the 19-year-old could be worth as much as £1 billion in the future. Anthony Joshua may have stagnated in recent years after his defeats to Andy Ruiz and Alexander Usyk. But the British heavyweight is still a magnet for some of the world's biggest brands. One of the most significant in his sponsorship empire is clothing retailers Hugo Boss. Joshua has been a long-term ambassador of the German company, who put him front and center off their new stretch tailoring line in 2018. While Fabio Fognini has never won a Grand Slam, the Italian tennis player is one of the most charismatic and entertaining stars on the tennis scene. So much so, the fiery former world No. 9 is currently sponsored by Giorgio Armani. Fognini has donned Armani's EA7 sportswear line since 2019, sporting their gear while competing at singles and doubles competitions. Naomi Osaka returned to the court in January after a 4-month break from tennis. However, her absence from top-level tennis did not hamper her huge deal with fashion retailer Louis Vuitton. Osaka was unveiled as the brand ambassador for the French fashion powerhouse in January 2021, in a deal presumed to be in the 7-figure mark. The former US Open champion also joined the Tag Heuer family, which is part of the same conglomerate as Vuitton. David Beckham donated the entirety of his £3.4 million salary at Paris Saint-Germain to a selection of France-based children's charities. Charity has always been at the forefront of Beckham's minds, but the former England captain was not left empty-handed as he was also sponsored by H&M during his time at the Parc des Princes. The clothing giants were just one of many different sponsorship deals which helped the set-piece specialist garner approximately £32 million. Beckham is now the owner of Major League Soccer (MLS) side Inter Miami, who is managed by former teammate and England women's manager Phil Neville. MMA legend Jon Jones is one of the fiercest athletes in sports history. And the 14-time UFC champion also showed plenty of attitude when he was announced as one of the main brand ambassadors to Boohooman. The fashion giants described him as talented, disciplined, and driven, as well as everything a Boohooman should be after he put pen to paper on a brand ambassadorial deal. While the exact value of the deal remains unknown, a fighter often considered as one of the greatest of all time would likely command an enormous fee. Billy Horschel is often revered as being one of the most fashionable golf players on the PGA circuit. The 2014 FedEx Cup winner turned plenty of heads in 2013 when he sported a unique pair of octopus-printed trousers. Unsurprisingly, this prompted Ralph Lauren to secure the golf champion as a brand ambassador. This proved to be a historic deal for both Horschel and Ralph Lauren, as this deal saw him become the first ever sports athlete to collaborate with the clothing giants.